Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to talk about why I think I've recovered from health anxiety, or at least how I'm now able to manage it. There are a few important things that I believe have led me to this point, and I just felt compelled to share them with you. So, here's my story. I hit absolute rock bottom with my health anxiety. And when I say rock bottom, I mean completely suicidal. I was hospitalized multiple times. It got really, really bad. After going through that horrendous experience, where I genuinely believed I was losing my mind and no longer wanted to be alive, I reached a point of surrender. I know it might sound cheesy or cliché, but there was something beautiful that came from that intense suffering. I had suffered for so long that my mind simply couldn't take it anymore. I became very unwell. At my lowest point, something I wouldn't wish on anyone, I stopped caring about the diseases I thought I had. I stopped caring about my symptoms. I stopped caring, period. And in that surrender, something shifted. I said, I give up. I accept this. I can't do this anymore. With the love and support of my family, the crisis team, my psychiatrist, this whole incredible team, I slowly began to get better. Something changed in my perspective. I thought, I never want to go back to that place. That rock bottom place was far scarier than any illness my mind could ever imagine. The real terror wasn't a disease, it was the despair of not wanting to live anymore. So I surrendered. I accepted the symptoms. I accepted that they might be around for a while. But I decided I wasn't going to fight them anymore. I wasn't going to be afraid of them anymore. I chose to shift my focus toward things that would make me feel better. I committed to changing my life. I looked at my 2 children, my partner, my family, and I told myself, I'm doing this for you, but also, and most importantly, I'm doing it for me. Because I knew I could never let myself return to that dark place. And from that moment, I threw myself into recovery. I applied the same level of dedication and energy to healing as I once did to researching illnesses. I mean, I used to spend days researching diseases like brain tumors, learning everything from symptoms to treatments. But strangely enough, I never gave that kind of attention to the actual illness I was dealing with, health anxiety. Once I realized that health anxiety itself was my illness, I decided to treat it like my top priority. Because if I didn't, it was going to kill me. I'm not saying that to be dramatic, this is me being completely honest. So I got to work. I read every self-help book I could find. I studied health anxiety and read countless stories of people who had overcome it. I implemented new routines, meditating, drinking more water, improving my sleep hygiene, practicing yoga, completely changing my diet, keeping to-do lists, and staying distracted. I made it a point to do something every day that brought me joy. I started practicing gratitude. And all of these changes began to add up. It's now been 18 months, and I've been doing well. Sure, I've had symptoms during that time. But I don't spiral like I used to. Back then, one symptom would send me into a 3-month downward spiral with maybe a week's break before it all started again. Now, I manage my mental health every single day to make sure I don't fall back into that hole. Sometimes when people start to feel better, they stop doing all the helpful things that got them there. I've done that before, too. But I've learned that consistency is key. These positive habits are things we might have to do forever, and that's okay. If you're in a good mental state, a headache is just a headache. You're less likely to catastrophize it. You're more likely to pause, breathe, talk yourself down, and move on. And that's where I am now. To summarize, the key things that helped me were: acceptance, surrender, implementing new, supportive habits every single day. Healing is not linear. There are ups and downs. Some days are amazing, and others, not so much. But it all comes down to commitment, a daily decision to get up and take action. It's about saying, I'm going to set my alarm and go for a walk. I'm going to drink my water. I'm not going to Google my symptoms. I'll meet up with a friend. I'll eat a healthy lunch. I'll move my body. I'll meditate. I'll practice Wim Hof breathing. I'll do grounding exercises. I'll get outside and soak up some vitamin D. I'll cut off blue light at 9 p.m. so I can sleep well. It's about packing your day with small acts of goodness. And I get it, it's hard. When you're in the depths of health anxiety, sometimes you just want to lie in bed and give up. I've been there. I know what it's like. But because I had hit rock bottom, I had no other option. I had to make recovery my top priority. If you want to be a good parent, a good partner, do well at work, none of that is possible when your anxiety is out of control. That was a hard truth I had to learn. For so long, I believed my problems were physical illnesses I didn't actually have. It took a lot for me to accept that health anxiety itself was the real issue. This journey hasn't been easy, but I get stronger every day. I'm not exaggerating, I feel like I'm in the best place I've ever been. And it's because I committed fully to my healing. I will never allow myself to return to that dark place. I get emotional even thinking about it. I truly didn't think I'd make it out alive. But here I am, so grateful, so relieved, and so determined to keep moving forward. That's my story. And if you want to learn more, look, I'm not trying to turn this into a sales pitch, but I do have something to offer. And no, I can't do it for free. And to those who criticize me for that, well, I've dealt with enough of that already.